Hey guys, Digital Lifestyle here, back with another video. Um, this one's a strange one. In the topic one is AI, and recent video. Well, not recent. This came out in January 2023, where former UK PM, touted successor to Klaus Schwab, Tony Blair, asserts that the necessity of a digital infrastructure for monitoring everybody's vaccination status in the event of a future pandemic. Some of the vaccines that will come on down the line will be multiple. There will be multiple shots. So you've got to have, for a reason to do with the healthcare more in general, but certainly for a pandemic, yet you've got to have a proper digital infrastructure. This is where I'm going to come on to where it comes to where AI comes into this whole thing here, where you're going to hear from your Hirek, however how you would say that, AI and the future of humanity. Frontiers from the Live 23 forum. Let me go play you the video from Tony Blair, because if you listen to that, they're actually, they're in league with promoting the next future pandemic, as if they haven't wiped out enough of humanity alone with the first dry run that they had and people fell for it. Wake up, for God's sake.
Countries don't have that. In fact, most countries don't have that.
Let's go back. Let me go back. Sorry. Oops. All right.
The technology and the digital infrastructure, I just want to emphasize how important I think that is. Because in the end, you need the data. You need to know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't been. Some of the vaccines that will come on down the line will be multiple. There'll be multiple shots. So you've got to have, for reasons to do with the healthcare more generally, but certainly for a pandemic or for vaccines, you've got to have a proper digital infrastructure. And many countries don't have that. In fact, most countries don't have that.
They don't have that because, one, the West, and this is by Wide Awake Media, by the way, didn't really support giving other countries these things. Remember, this is about profit anyway. All these things are about making money. Now, it's up to you whether you want to take a vaccine for something or not. AI is going to play an important part in a lot of what's going down the road when it comes down to this new world order, this new great the great reset, as it were. AI is going to play a part in this, and I honestly urge you guys to listen to what these people are saying. I am not just coming on here, one, talking about cryptocurrencies, or if you like, sometimes reposting other people's videos because it suits my purpose. The reason why I repost other people's videos as well, I didn't claim it as my own anyway, and I hate people saying that I claimed it as my own, because I don't. I've never claimed any other people's videos as my own. And if anything, it's there to highlight the fact that a lot of these videos are not being paid attention to. People are not understanding the scams that come down their line. I get calls magnitudes times a day to ask me to relinquish my data or to ask me stupid questions. If you're not paying me for this information, you're not getting it. It's simple. That's how it's got to work. And a lot of people need to wake up to this. Every time you do something online, whether it be search some website or whatever it is, there is data being collected. Yeah? You're giving away your data. If you're one of these people who are into porn and all that kind of stuff, right, you're giving away that data. If you show stuff of yourself, personal bits of yourself, you are giving away your data. Algorithms pick this stuff up. Okay? Every time you go on your phone will notice if you've got, it depends on what phone you have. If you have an Apple phone, the phone will tell you how much hours you spent on that phone. You are being monitored Wake up. Yeah? Now we're going to go into the AI business. And what this one says, this guy is a narcissistic. Words fail me. Oops, I don't want to play the music, unfortunately. Or fortunately is the way it may seem. I just want to get away.
To overcome.
Oh, sorry, I got it. Well, you know what it is?
Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And yes, what I want to talk to you about is AI and the future of humanity. Now, I know that these conferences focus on the ecological crisis facing humanity, but for better or for worse, AI too is part of this crisis. AI can help us in many ways to overcome the ecological crisis, or it can make it far, far worse. Actually, AI will probably change the very meaning of the ecological system. Because for 4 billion years, the ecological system of planet Earth contained only organic life forms. And
right. Think about what you just said. For 4 billion years, organic life forms. Organic life forms. Life forms that interacted with each other and created what we have now. So why are you, as an individual, wanting to interfere with that natural ecosystem? The fact that they've destroyed part of the planet by 1, overmining, 2, not allowing the technologies that should have come before, i.e. Tesla's infinite energy infrastructure that they wanted to have, what he wanted to have, because people like, if you like, BlackRock, JP Morgan, the powers that were then and still are today, did not allow those technologies to be advanced and stop funding them. It's because they did not have the dollar sign that they could make money from it. And this is what this whole old system is about. The fact that now they want to use AI to even further more control the narrative, if you will, and impact humanity in major ways is massive. Look, right, there are good sides and there are bad sides to AI. It's how they're going to use it. And we need to be looking at ways to escape this narrative that they want to put for us. They want to control us seriously control. The fact that they want to vaccinate and they turn around and say multiple. Come on. How many vaccines do you need to be safe in this world? For God's sake. For God's sake. If there is a God, if there ever such a is, do you know what? That's another thing. Is there one? Is there? If there was something that is supposed to be good and loving and kind, why is there so much crap happening on this planet right now? Why? Think about all that's happening. Think about these massive changes. Think about the massive destruction and distractions, even more so, that's happening. Listen to these people. I'm not going to play you all of this video. I will put a link in the description, but you guys need to listen.
Now, or soon, we might see the emergence of the first inorganic life forms after 4 billion years, or at the very least, the emergence of inorganic agents.
Every single trader that's taken...
Sorry about that. I'm going to have to pause it right there for a moment. Hold on. Ugh, bollocks. Right, now the other's gone, I'm going to, well, I'll do something about that.
Matrix. Now, while such science fiction scenarios have become cultural landmarks, they haven't usually been taken seriously in academic and scientific and political debates, and perhaps for a good reason. Because science fiction scenarios usually assume that before AI can pose a significant threat to humanity, it will have to reach or to pass two important milestones. First, AI will have to become sentient and develop consciousness, feelings, emotions. Otherwise, why would it even want to take over the world? Secondly, AI will have to become adept at navigating the physical world. Robots will have to be able to move around and operate in houses and cities and mountains and forests at least as dexterously and efficiently as humans. If they cannot move around the physical world, how can they possibly take it over?
I don't know if you've seen some of those films. I cannot name any particular film, but have you not seen some of those films where robots, whether it be what was that first robot film where Will and the professor, showing my age, I can't remember what that film was, but those were one of the films that that was the type of film I saw many years ago when I was younger, that showed the possibilities, and it was all kind of wonky and all that kind of stuff. And then we had Star Trek and all those kind of like Data, and I think, not being funny, some of these films, some of these series, some of these films that were predicting the future. You know, if you think about the iPad came from Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Even even the flip phone. You could look at the flip phone. I mean, they had those devices. Do you know what I mean? That they flipped and they. Do you know what I mean? All those things were being shown to our face. We have been shown a glimpse of the future. Yeah. And it's up to us as to whether we accept that narrative, which what they want to portray, which is implants, which I feel that is coming down the road for some, and there are people that is. I think this is happening in Switzerland, where people have been implanted with technologies, biochips, where they can scan and go. I'm not sure about that. And you have the Bible in there as well, where it says no one be able to spend except for the mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. So there is that narrative as well, the scaremongering and the convenience thing. There are two different ways to look at it. Is it more convenient to have a trip? I am not saying you should go and have a trip. I am not, trust me, advocating that, because that's not something I will do. But you're going to hear people say, oh, well, it's going to be... No. Think about where this leads. Think about how this whole narrative is being portrayed. Is this then, because are you now going to become in a digital prison controlled by AI, because AI will be able to do it much more faster and better than human beings, because it will have algorithms set in its place. And if you think about what they're doing with health passports and all that kind of stuff, digital ITs, the AI will then be able to say to you, you can't go that way, but you can go that way, or you can buy this, or you can't buy that, or you've overspent this, or you haven't had your vaccination, so you can't do this, or you can't do that, you can't travel here, but you need to have your vaccinations. Until you have your vaccinations, you're not going to go there. And even then, when you have your vaccinations, it may well be at a point that they may well look at it and say, we're going to deduct points from you because you took so long in having your vaccinations. This is about control of humanity, right? Here's my issue with everything that's happened since 2019. A lot of people fell for it. Trust me. And it's now incumbent on them to wake up and realize something's wrong. Something's changed massively. And did we really need to do that? Did we really need to do that? Given all that's come out from the media, and in particular, where our MPs have been concerned, and the confusion and everything else, and they're saying that we should have been locked down earlier, all that kind of stuff. I would like to hear from people who have not been. I would like to know their experiences, actually. I also would like to hear from people who have been and what their experiences have been. I know people who have not fared well, but you can't say these things at the moment because there's no freedom at the moment.
And as of April 2023, AI still seems far from reaching either of these milestones. Despite all the hype around ChatGPT and the other new AI tools, there is no evidence that these tools have even a shred of consciousness, of feelings, of emotions. As for navigating the physical world, despite the hype around self-driving vehicles, the date at which these vehicles will dominate our roads keeps being postponed. However, the bad news is that to threaten the survival of human civilization, AI doesn't really need consciousness, and it doesn't need the ability to move around the physical world. Over the last few years, new AI tools have been unleashed into the public sphere, which may threaten the survival of human civilization from a very unexpected direction. And it's difficult for us to even grasp the capabilities of these new AI tools and the speed at which they continue to develop. Indeed, because AI is able to learn by itself, to improve itself, even the developers of these tools don't know the full capabilities of what they have created.
And that's the problem. If they've created biases in these programs, then biases will show. Really see, like, I've used Bard. I've put stuff in Bard that is current from news sources that are really relevant to the world, and it will not acknowledge that. There is something inherently biased about the way these systems and AI programs are being created. There's definitely a negative towards whatever it is. So think about what's going on right now with the problem with Israel and Hamas. This is all going to change once we start seeing more AI-driven news, if you will, because they're trying to change the narrative and try to make things that are not right. Do you know what I mean? And I've heard so many dark stuff that's come out from that particular part of the world, and there is videos out there. I have a video out there with regards to the fact that this country has gas that the West needs, and one country wants to claim it for their own. And this is not something that's not just happening in a bubble, but it always happens. I know this sounds like a tangent, and I'm going off on a tangent, but you know what? Once in a while, I need to do this. We are in a very, very, very strange world, guys. Seriously, and it's not making sense for the masses. Don't be confused, though, is what I'm going to say. If you're involved in digital assets, stay involved, because that's the future, especially if you're young. That is the future. But beware of what that comes with. Beware of the central bank digital currency. Beware of the digital passport. Beware of all those things that are going to, one, constrict and control your life. Beware of the AI systems that they're going to employ or implore to control your life, because this is what it's all about. They say about China using the digital one, and they showed videos, and I've seen videos of, you know, toll park, you're speeding, blah blah blah, you get docked your money from your account, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, instant deductions. And I've also seen videos where they, and you guys need to do your own research as well. Please go and look for systems that CBD systems that constrict, CBD systems that will control. IMF have alluded to the fact that they will allow you only spend about 3,000 EUs. Come on now, if you are a millionaire, how can that be right? But the AI systems will be employed to do that. This is how they're going to control you. They are making these systems to control us eventually. If the AI systems that we're using right now can't tell us the bloody truth, what is the point? Especially if they limit them to not being able to access. If they can limit it, yeah, think about that. If they can limit it, they can program it to do what they want. Think about that. If they can limit it right now, that means they can program it to do what they want. It's like thinking about DeFi, for instance, right? DeFi is decentralized, and that's off anything. See, this is a different narrative people need to think about as well. Oh wow, this has blown my mind when I'm thinking about this. DeFi is they program it so that nobody interferes with it, and it's completely autonomous. It does what it does, and it's a system that is not controlled by any single human being, and has never had, if you will, it has had input from human beings, but it's input from human beings that make it so that it is completely decentralized, and it does not have any interference in the operation from outside. Centralized systems allow people to go in and change. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to AI. If you can limit it or constrict it to a certain extent, what else can you do with it? Once you let it use, what can you then program into the system to make it different, to make it control, to make it biased, or bias, to make it imprison somebody because they simply said wow, or something that maybe somebody would see as racist or anti-Semite or anything of that nature. Anyway, I've done enough ranting. I am going to play one more.
And they are themselves often surprised by emergent abilities and emergent qualities of these tools. I guess everybody here is already aware of some of the most fundamental abilities of the new AI tools. Abilities like writing text, drawing images, composing music, and writing code. But there are many additional capabilities that are emerging, like deep faking people's voices and images, like drafting bills, finding weaknesses both in computer code and also in legal contracts and in legal agreements. But perhaps most importantly, the new AI tools are gaining the ability to develop deep and intimate relationships with human beings. Each of these abilities deserves an entire discussion, and it is difficult for us to understand their full implications. So let's make it simple.
Look guys, I'm going to leave it there. I implore you, and I will put a link into the description to this one. You need to go and pay attention to the new frontier of AI, if you will, finance and control. What everything that's happening now is not by accident. They've done this stuff on us while people are being massacred in another country, and people are being, if you like, controlled in another country. I would say, think about NATO and its allies. Think about NATO and what it's done throughout the world. Think about the USA and its hedge money for what it's hedge money for what it's done throughout the world. Think about the wars that have been deliberately started. Think about the coups that have been deliberately started for whatever reason. Whether it be to steal somebody else's wealth, whether it be to steal somebody else's land. Think about the whole construct of this whole system that was created by the few to control the many. We are at a pivotal time in history where we choose, 99% have the choice to choose. It's not up to me. I've made my choice. You need to make yours. If you like this kind of talk, if you like this kind of insight, or whatever you want to call it, I'm just being bare, real, and upfront. Wake up. And I keep saying it. Way too many people on this planet are asleep. They're falling for the lies. They're nasty. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. And guess what? They're sowing themselves a massive world of hurt going down the road. A massive world of hurt. Ignorance is bliss in some ways, but it soon catches you and bites you in the backside. And karma is such a nasty bitch. So if I swore kids, but it is. It's such a nasty thing to happen to you. If you care not for others, others won't care for you, and whatever you deserve will come to you. Sorry, but it's real, and this is for real. People are sowing their own seeds of destruction. Carry on. Anyway, stop falling for the damn stupid scams that come out there, because those people will get their comeuppance too. All those people like using the deepfake adverts, and YouTube is another company. I'm sorry to say this. There has to be something done about that, because I know I'm using YouTube to broadcast and all that kind of stuff, but they are promoting the most amount of scams. Especially when it comes to digital asset scams. Seriously. They allow these scams, especially they allow people to promote them, and they allow people to pay their money to promote them, knowing fully well they're scams. The fact that the XRP one and the Solana one, that every time you mention XRP, and I'm sure XRP video with Brad Garlinghouse, and I need to say this is classic. I need to say this. The video will pop up, and you were saying CEO Brad Garlinghouse, thanking the community. You watch this, mate. You watch this one. You watch. If YouTube allows this video to play up, given the controversial subject that's contained in it, you will see Brad Garlinghouse, or possibly a Solana now that I've mentioned Solana video come up, a deep fake, right? This is what's happening in the world. We are having these deep fakes, yeah, and I think the human being is so much more wiser and much more alert to see these deep fakes, and they're going to ignore them. But there are also some people that won't ignore these, and people will fall for them. This is why I say wake up, right? We're living in a very, very, very strange time, and we're living in a time where those that have done you wrong for long, those that continue to take the mickey out of you, or look at you as some kind of idiot, especially if you listen to this channel, because I'm very controversial in my thought process. I don't really speak much, but if you ever get me in a debate about something, I will tell you about yourself, and I will tell you about the things that I think, because I think people need to be expressive. I think people need to say what they think and be real about the world. Because if you don't see the world for what it is, then you're not waking up. If you don't see that money has been used to enslave the masses, especially the continual printing of money that they have done, and every time they print more, it enslaves more futures down the line. Your children's children will be bearing this debt until we change to another system. And we need to change a system that does not allow them to continually print money. There is an issue with Tether, and I will say this. Tether USDC, the Tether coin. It just keeps multiplying. Come on. That's the next black swan to happen after Binance. And once that's washed out, the market will have utility, and you will see those gems like back in the dot-com bubble surface. There's so much more coming down this market, and in this new world, whether it be AI or cryptocurrencies, because that's or NFTs for instance, art, and being music, rental accommodation, how rent is done, how that's calculated, how that will be done in future. There's so many insurance contracts. Oh gosh, everything that you can think of that is traded in the world today will be tokenized, right? AI will probably have a massive part in that, but also, and this is a long video today, also AI will have a destructive part to play in many jobs, but it also will create jobs. Yeah, it will be a disruptor and a creator of jobs. Whether you choose to embrace the AI and invest in it from a standpoint, make some money for yourself, it's up to you. But digital assets are here to stay. They're not going to go anywhere, and it's up to you to make your choices, and whether you choose to specialize in gaming, because gaming is going to be tokenized, and it is already. Gala Games is one of those ones that are very at the forefront of tokenization. Whether it be for utility in terms of payments, how payment infrastructures are going to work, whether it be the XLM or the XRP of the world, whether it be for smart contracts. I know Ethereum is one of those that are reported to be used for smart contracts at the moment, but there is issues with Ether going forward, and I'm still hesitant on that. And I've spoken on the Ether blockchain and difficulties that could possibly face going down the line. I do not know what could happen, especially as there are many tokens built on that chain, far more than any other of the blockchains out there, including Bitcoin, including XRP, including all the others out there. But there are chains being built, and something I need to say to you as well. The learning aspect of this is, I think it's Alex Becker. Please look for him on YouTube. He actually said he explained the strategy to actually earn in this market. So, say you're interested in Cardano, for instance, things that are built around the Cardano chain could make you money, but it depends on what it is. So you need to do your research into that. Now, we'll say this as well. With so many blockchains on the market, there are only going to be a few that make it. Okay, we're going for a washout stage. Binance is one of those casualties but Binance is never going to go away. Binance is still going to be here. It may well be cut up. It may well be used in some way, but the fact that Binance was a very much a decentralized platform caused problems for the masses. Yes, it did do some compliance in certain jurisdictions, but in America, I don't know what happened there, but they took Binance down, and this was a deliberate thing. There's no two ways about it, and I wish people wake up to how this whole corrupt system works. It's not by accident they took Binance down. It's not by accident that they're accusing Binance of all these things. Look, here's the thing. FTX did what Binance didn't do. Think about that. And if there were clear regulations, would Binance be in the dock? No. The fact that they weren't, FTX was allowed to do what it was. Binance was much more compliant in certain respects as opposed to FTX. They also said that Binance finance terrorism. It may have done that in the earlier stages of its development, but then stopped doing that because there are articles out there proving that Binance didn't, it stopped and it traced. Look, Binance was taken out to allow the JP Morgans and the incumbents to come in and take over the market with their ETFs and their other products. Listen, this market's going to go up in a massive scale, but it will come back down. Not necessarily to a level that hurts people, but it will hurt. I retract. Hurt those that got in a later stage, the masses. It's not going to hurt people like you and me. Those who already invested in the assets, that have been holding these assets, in particular for a long time, and who have not sold their assets. We're going to make it much more so than those who haven't. And it'd be a time of when you take the assets out, when you sell the assets, and whether you have a long-term bag, whether you have bags that you're going to use for earning extra wealth, whether you stick it into some decentralized product or platform that earns you yields or staking or whatever. There will be those things that come out there, even though they don't want them to be there. They will be there. If they're going to be there for the institutional investors, they are going to be there for you, and they are there for the institutional, so therefore they will be for you. Anyway, I've gone way over this video. Way too long. Anyway, guys, Digitech Lifestyle out. Look after yourself. Please like and subscribe, and also, don't get scammed. Don't take your regulated crypto and put it to a non-regulated platform. Think of it like that. That's the simple thing I can say. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.